Hi, my name is Mike Ward. I'm the Global Director of Content for Informa Pharma Intelligence's Insights portfolio. We're here at the Biotech Showcase in San Francisco, and this is a meeting where lots of biotech companies come to either talk to investors, give updates on their missions, or look for new partners. I'm joined by Drew Fromkin, who's the President and CEO of a Massachusetts-based company, Tarveda Therapeutics. Tarveda is a 4-year-old company, but in fact, 18 months ago, you did a kind of restructuring of the business. So could you explain what Tarveda is now?
Sure. Well, we decided about 1.5 years ago when I joined the company to focus on our miniaturized conjugate business. We call our miniaturized conjugates Pentarins. And so come last January, we funded our Series C round with $38 million. Novo joined NEA, Flagship, and Nano Dimension in that round. And so we've been heavily focused on moving our first program forward into the clinic. And we have a second program we'll have in the clinic this coming year, actually this year, that we're already in. And we have a pipeline of exciting Pentarins behind it.
So that technology, where did it come from originally?
Well, actually, the technology is homegrown. We developed our interest in taking the positive attributes of antibody drug conjugates, which we've seen some very good progress in, but they've also suffered from being too large to get into solid tumors, and often they have a slow kinetics of penetration. So we felt like if we could keep the great attributes of antibody drug conjugates and target the tumor cells, and at the same time get payload accumulation while staying small and getting in faster and deeper into those tumors, that we'd have more success. And that's what we've been focused on.
So antibody conjugates, I mean, it's not normally the target is an antibody.
That's correct.
People who've tried to get smaller ADCs have used fragments. What are you doing?
Right. Well, we're in our first drug, PEN-221, we're using a peptide targeting moiety or ligand, and that peptide seeks out the somatostatin receptor 2. That's found on neuroendocrine and small cell lung cancer cells. About 30 to 90% of those patients will have expression of those targets. And so as a result of that, we use an imaging diagnostic to find out those patients who are going to express somatostatin, and then we target those patients because they're the ones most likely to respond.
Right, and that's you're just about to go into the clinic with that?
We're in the clinic. We were in the clinic as of late last quarter, and so we are expecting in 2017 to complete our phase 1 dose escalation. But again, unlike many all-comers trials, we're actually doing it in those patients who are expressing. So this open label study is going to give us a lot of data beyond safety during this period. And then of course we have our second drug, PEN-866, which targets an intracellular target called heat shock protein 90. So instead of binding and being internalized and accumulating a payload, we actually diffuse across the membrane with the second using a small molecule targeting moiety. And we bind inside the cell and then keep the payload there and end up affecting cell death with a sustained accumulation of the payload.
Okay, so I mean this meeting, it's either for investors or it's to get partners. What's your mission here?
Well, about 1.5 years ago, our company was looking very different. And over the last 12 months, we've emerged very rapidly with clinical stage programs, an interesting pipeline that's proprietary to us. And so we've started to get a lot of outreach from the public side. And so this particular JP Morgan or Biotech Showcase is going to be about working with public side analysts, working with public side banking groups, and in fact we are getting a lot of outreach from the business development side of big pharma as well.
Right. So is the target to take the company public?
Well, I think the target is to, one, develop great drugs for patients, and I think we're making a great step in that direction. And then from my perspective, doing what we can to bring out the best return on investment for our shareholders. So whether that's going public or ultimately being acquired, I think given our programs, they're quite attractive, and if we can show great data over the next 12 to 18 months, we'll have our options. But right now, we're starting to interact and get our visibility back up with the public side.
But that Series C financing, which you said raised $38 million, what's that going to allow you to do? I mean, How much runway is that?
That gives us enough runway to get through some of our key phase 1 milestones on Pen 221. And again, because it's open label and we're selecting those patients with the imaging agent, we're going to get a lot of data that you normally don't see in all-comers trials. Second of all, we will be in the clinic and moving through the dose escalation phase of our second drug, and we have a pipeline behind it that we think could be monetized and partnered with pharma. So it's going to give us that opportunity. There may be opportunities to add additional capital to elongate our runway, but we also think with all the inflection that we may see over the next 12 months, we could be in a great position to go public in 2018.
Right. Okay. Great. Well, Drew, thanks for coming by and telling us it.
Thank you for looking forward to meeting with us.
Cheers.